Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So I thought it would be a good idea to make a video about Depop because it is something I've been doing since March of 2019. So I've made 780 sales and I have 300 5-star reviews. So I feel like I kind of somewhat know what I'm doing. I mean, I think there's always room to learn and room to grow and figure out other ways to promote my items on Depop and stuff, but I thought I'd make a little video explaining some ways that you can get your items to sell faster, how to start a Depop, how to list things, etc. So let's get into that. And in the true spirit of Depop and me having way too many clothes, I got this shoe rack that I'm gonna try to be assembling during this video because I feel like it's pretty fitting. These all have labels like A, B, C, but they're not actually labeled. Like, the book says that they are, but they're not actually labeled, So I've watched some videos myself about how to start Depops, how to make fast sales, blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry if this is loud. Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. We'll see. Something that's a super common theme I see, like, in YouTube videos with people talking about how to start their Depop is saying that you have to have like a niche, and I don't really agree with that. I think you can do that if you would like to. However, I have found that having just like multiple different styles reaches more people, and I feel like if you have only one type of clothing that you sell, it's really limiting your exposure and it's limiting the amount of sales that you're going to get. Aesthetic wise, yeah, I totally get why people would only sell like Y2K stuff or like vintage 70s things. It makes sense, but to just maximize profit, in my opinion, selling, vintage stuff, hand-me-downs, your old clothes that were micro trends that you bought in the pandemic and don't wear anymore, I just feel like selling a little bit of everything appeals to a lot more people. Just don't limit yourself with what you post. Post literally whatever you have that you want to sell. It doesn't have to be like a cohesive, fantastic aesthetic page like an Instagram would be. It does have to look good, and I will talk about taking photos later, but just post what you want to sell. Okay, the second tip that I have is to not get discouraged if your items aren't flying off the shelf as soon as you post them. So personally, when I look for clothes on Depop and I look at someone's shop, I will look to see if they have good reviews. And if they have like 7 or more good reviews that are recent, I will buy from their store. But some accounts, they don't have any reviews yet because they're just starting up their account. And so it's like a catch-22 kind of like, you want to start to make money, but like you can't make money if no one trusts you. So it can be a little difficult. Just be very careful about like scams. Something I suggest if you are purchasing from a shop that doesn't have any reviews is if they have an Instagram linked, like go look at it, make sure it's not like a scam Instagram type thing. If it's like a real person and like they're wearing the clothes in the pictures, like you're probably good. But anyways, the same goes for you. Starting your own shop, you're gonna have no good reviews. And a good way to get off the ground, I think, is to have family and friends buy things from your shop, and that way you can ship it to them, you can prove that you're good at it, and they will leave you good reviews, which will make other customers more likely to buy from your store. Tip number 3 is something you're gonna find everywhere and even on Depop for selling fast, and that is gonna be refreshing your listings. So you're gonna wanna go in and click edit listing and then just like save, and that will bring your listing back to the top of your page, and it will make it one of the more recent listings when someone searches. If you don't refresh your listings, there's less likely of a chance that someone will see it because they'll have to scroll a lot further to see it. But if you're constantly refreshing it as if it's a new item, people are more likely to see it for sure. Tip number 4 is going to be to have a listing that just says shop policies. Now, this is important for a lot of reasons, but mainly so that if something goes wrong with the order and you said like on your listing, like, please, you must read shop policies before buying, and there is an issue with depop or something, you can say like, hey, look, I've had this post up for a year. I said I wasn't gonna be able to ship for a week and they're upset now, and I told them to read it, but they didn't. I've never really had that issue, but I have had people ask me like, hey, when are you gonna ship? And I'm like, hey, read my shop policies. Like, I'm in college. It might take up to like a week. I'm sorry about that. Which I suggest shipping as soon as you can. But if you are in college or have a full-time job or anything, like, just make sure that you tell people it's gonna take longer to ship before they actually buy it so that they don't get upset. Tip number 5 is taking pictures. So I try to model most of the clothes that I sell. So I have a ring light and I just take pictures against like a blank wall. I actually just hung up a sheet, like a white sheet, to try to take pictures with that. I don't know how that's gonna go yet. Yeah, so if you don't have a blank wall, that's okay. Just make sure it doesn't look super cluttered in the background, because no one wants to buy from someone that's like really messy, you know? You can always also take pictures only of the clothes, just like on your floor, like on your bedroom floor, on a white sheet, on like wood, like literally on whatever, and just post that. You totally don't have to model the clothes, especially like if they don't fit. Like, there's some listings I have that are just pictures of the clothes on my bedroom floor because they don't fit me and I can't even try them on to model even if I wanted to. So it's really okay to do either. Just make sure that you get a lot of angles and that you note any flaws, because you don't want to send out, like, you don't want to misadvertise something and say, hey, there's this really cute white dress, like it's only $20 and it's perfect, and then someone buys it and has like a big stain on it. Like, that's going to be upsetting to the customer. So just clarify before, because sometimes people will still buy items with minor imperfections, and just make sure that it's known to them. I think this is advice number 5. It might be 6, I don't know. But have cute shipping. So when I first started Depop, I did not really know what I was doing, and I was literally losing money. So I would buy these boxes from the post office, not the free ones you can get. I would buy them and put the stuff I was shipping in there and then go and ship it, and it would be like $15 to ship, when in reality you could use a poly mailer, which I'll explain in a sec, and it would be like $5. So invest in poly mailers. If you've never heard of what that is, it's pretty much like a very, very thin package that you can put clothing in or jewelry in or something, but it is not boxy. It is made of plastic and it's very thin. Because it's not boxy, it doesn't carry the weight of the box itself, which makes everything a lot cheaper to ship. It also is a lot cuter. You can find some really cute prints. Like, I have one with leaves on it, and then I have one with like autumn leaves for the fall and pink for the summer, and I just got some with butterflies that are super cute. So having cute packaging definitely excites the buyer. Another tip is, once you sell an item, I like to leave a personalized note in there when I ship it, along with some stickers or just some little extra goodies to make sure that they like really enjoyed the experience. And on that note too, sometimes I'll write like, hey, if you love it, like if you wouldn't mind giving me a good review, and that can help you get good reviews as well. Like, obviously not telling them like you have to give me a good review, but just being like, hey, I'd really appreciate it if you enjoy your item, like if you could do that, like no pressure, but like it really helped me out. Like, that can also help you get more reviews, which will make your shop more trustworthy. Okay, another tip with shipping, do not ship with Depop. I know it's easy, but their shipping prices are a little bit higher than it would be if you were to ship through USPS. In my opinion, most of the time that has been true. So recently I just learned about a website called Pirate Ship, and you go on there, you enter all the info, the address and everything, and it finds the best possible rate for you to ship. And it tends to be a lot cheaper than if you were to go to the post office. Actually, it's a totally legitimate site. And to do that, I also suggest having a little scale specifically for clothes, because you don't want it to have insufficient postage and be like sent back to you, and that's just like a whole ordeal. But I definitely recommend pirate ship if you have a printer at home. Last thing I'll say is just keep at it. Just don't give up. Your shop will take off eventually. Everything takes time, you know. Just constantly refreshing, writing really good descriptions of what you're selling, using up those 5 hashtags that you get, and not hashtagging things that are completely irrelevant. Like, just because Y2K is popular does not mean that you need to hashtag Y2K if you're selling something that is nothing to do with Y2K. So people will find your item better if you hashtag it more to the niche item that it is. So like for flannel, I might do hashtag flannel, hashtag fall, hashtag cozy, hashtag plaid, maybe? I don't know. I don't know if flannels are plaid or if flannel is its own print, but whatever. Just be very specific about your listing and you should be good to go. So I also, for my return address, I am not super comfortable with people having my home address, so I actually use a different address. It is not an address that's like completely random. It's not like a random person's address. It's another place that I can go. This sounds so vague and like ominous, but like I use an address that I can go to and get packages if they get sent back for whatever reason, but it's not where I live. And I think you're totally fine to put your actual address, but if you're paranoid like me, then if you do have like maybe your parents' house or something that you don't live at, but like you could go to, maybe use that as a return address just if you want to be extra safe, but there's no pressure to do that. I hope this video somewhat helped. I know it's tough to get started, but once you get started, you get the flow of things and it gets a lot easier, I promise, because at first I was struggling. But now I feel pretty good about it. So I hope you guys liked this video. I hope it was somewhat helpful at least, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!